Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
Greetings, programs. I am Jake, and today we are joined by the fabulous lads from 1490 Doom, Eric and Cody.
Woohoo!
What's up, guys? Stoked to be here.
How's it going? All good?
Good, we're loving it. Yeah, we're honored to be on your show. It's good to see you digitally.
Yep, it is good. It's been, what, just over a month?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Not been long. So, yeah, definitely cool to have you guys on. We're going to be talking about 1490 Doom. We're going to talk about Carnivore. We're going to talk about Buer Games. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff, no doubt, which will be very cool. I am excited. Excellent. Before we do jump into the usual sort of go around about talking about hobby and that sort of thing, I just want to ask Buer Games. Buer. I know, Cody, your online handle is Majors Buer. Where's that from?
Well, one, I just thought I needed some type of alias, online, because I know me and you go way back. But when I first started, taking my venture and dipping my toes into the Inc. 28 scene, which is, how me and you know each other. I guess I was trying to devise some sort of alias that I was okay with, and Buer was kind of a satirical pick to some extent. For those who are not familiar, Buer is a real historical character. He was found, or he was first logged, as far as we know, in an old book where someone denotated the hierarchy of hell and denotated all the various demons who work for and work both aside, alongside Satan and such. But Buer was the 10th Gothic demon, and even though he was like the president of hell and he had tons of legions of demons under him, and he was a specialist in philosophy and herbs and medicine and all this sort of things, his appearance is a goat's head, or lion's head, I guess I should say, with a mane and 5 goat legs coming off of him, and he just spins around like a wheel. It's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So I just kind of cackled with myself, and I was like, if any of this is to be believed, man, it's hysterical that anyone thinks that that Satan's winning in the end, when his president is just literally a pinwheel of goat legs and lion hair.
That's amazing. I'm just, it's fantastic that somebody took
it was intended to kind of be tongue in cheek, but most people who followed my account didn't really see it that way. And now it's our company.
Right. Fantastic. I just think it's amazing that somebody took the time to write down like an org chart of hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Did
you report to who was that again?
Yeah, exactly. The best part is I'm sure that at some point Buer has been like, as per my last email.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
I'd like to talk to your manager. He's like, lady, I am the manager.
Yeah. Or he's just like, don't you dare tell me to circle back one more time. You tell me to circle back.
Fantastic.
This apocalypse could have been an email.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Awesome. Just quickly, we're going to say hi to some folks in the chat. Luis is here. Hi, Luis. Dave Hummel is here. Brennan Bell, Mark Maxey, Scott Radham is here as well. Fantastic. Awesome. And Brendan says, look at all those keyboards.
Yes, Eric Robertson has an epic collection of keyboards, and this is the trimmed down version.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This
is Eric, do you write like synthwave on the side, or are you like a?
It's funny you say that. We actually did a synthwave album before we started Buer Games. But also, you all have Eric Robertson to thank for the 1490 Doom soundtrack. That would all be him.
Yeah. I've like probably 12 or 13 years. I got addicted to analog synthesizers and processing and reverbs and tapes. So I spent way too much money, but I do it. I was composing professionally for a lot of years, and so it was an excuse to just keep putting money back into it and feeding a gross hobby of keys and wood. It's a lot.
But now you have synthesizers we can only plug in with Russian power adapters. So
that's true. Yeah. Oh, in fact, this might be interesting. The one right here, they only made about 150 of them. It's an Italian synth, and this is number 74. So it's one of the rarest. It's a really cool synth that I love, and it works. And it's older than I am by like 5 years, from the late 70s.
My uncle would be like living his best life. I have a bunch of musicians in my family. Like I was in a band growing up, and I could play like 6 instruments. But my uncle Pete he started on the Accordivox, and he can play the accordion, and he plays piano, and he has like a huge synthesizer. He has a bunch of synthesizers, so he would be loving all of this.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Just real quick, I want to respond to Josh Potter here. Yes, you can absolutely play Carnivore with Walmart dinosaurs. So if you were wondering, when I was first developing the game Carnivore, we didn't have a company. I was just developing it for fun and playing it here with Eric. And back then we did just literally use toy dinosaurs. Awesome. That was always kind of the intent. So
don't ask too many questions too early, Josh. We've got a whole show to go.
Yes. Yeah. We'll answer plenty.
The best part was we get on here and I ask about synthwave, and then of course heresy pops up. I've been summoned.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Kat is here as well. GC Painter. Hi. Excellent.
What's up, Kat?
All the flavors of geek or geek are represented. Yeah, it's true.
Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, hobby stuff. What hobby stuff have we been up to? Jake, you want to lead us off?
Sure. So I just got a whole pile of goodness.
Oh
God. All right. So I picked up. So I own a hobby store. Like that's my adult job, like my 9 to 5. So at the end of every year, a bunch of the companies, we have like store support that we can use kind of for whatever. So if I host a tournament or we do a paint and take or whatever, we can use some of that for kind of whatever we want. And they leave it up to us to kind of use whatever. So in a perfect world, what they would want us to do is every week they would want us to get one of whatever the new release is and paint it to show it off. Like that's what it's supposed to be for. But over the years, they just don't enforce that anymore. And they're like, here's X amount. You can use it for whatever you want. So we're a top tier store. So we use some of it during the year, but it's usually like for damages and replacements and things like that. And we'll do giveaways and tournaments. But at the end of the year, we're always like, what do we have left? And they tell us, and then we're like, cool. So we'll be like, who wants stuff? And then we'll just use it for the staff. And then whatever's left over, we'll usually get for projects. So I ended up picking up Mark II Assault Squad, which I need for my my Heresy army. So these are going to be Red Hand destroyers. They're a World Leaders only unit.
Okay.
I picked up this thing, which I'm super stoked about. This is the new Knight Destrier.
Right.
This is like the middleweight knight. This thing is super cool. I'm going to paint my whole army as free blades. I have a whole pile of knights that I've been kind of sitting on. I'm going to paint this guy as the Green Knight from the Bretonnian range. So I'm going to do him all Green Knight style.
Cool. It's funny you say that. I actually have a Knight Lancer that I did as the Green Knight sitting at home.
I love it.
I actually used bark to replace his weapon.
His helmet is perfect.
Cool.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely perfect for a Green Knight. It's the perfect selection.
Yeah, I really like
I'm
that.
just saying, I really hope that you think about converting that blade into an axe.
Well, if I make him the Bretonnian guy, he should have a sword. So I will probably use this.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if I want to do historically accurate, yes, he should have a
different character.
He should have an axe. I also picked up this.
Ooh,
the Lords of the Maelstrom. Nice.
Yeah, so that's I got to get another box of. They kind of trick you because you're like, oh, look at all these red Corsairs. It's not. It's 10 Corsairs and then 10 Legionnaires. These guys that I don't really want. These guys are awesome.
I'll take what you don't want.
we can work out a swap for sure. And then I picked up. I've been sitting on this sword, but I picked this up as well.
Right.
Very nice.
Like mostly for this.
Yeah, the big guy.
He is rad. But this box is gross. It's 10 Blood Knights, 3 Fell Bats, which I guess they just had extra Fell Bats, and then the Lord on the Zombie Dragon. And I was like, all 3 of these units are like must-haves for the list that I run. So
yeah,
that's my new pile of stuff. And then I get a bunch of Trench Crusade stuff that I'm working on and Halo stuff that I'm working on. But that stuff, that all came home today.
That's
right.
That's a lot. Sweet.
Hey, Eric, what about you? What hobby stuff have you been working on in the past week or so?
Past week. Well, I mean, I'm working on the soundtrack to the next game, and I can't say what it is. We haven't revealed it. We put a teaser online, though. So I love working on the soundtracks. We've been working on some lore podcasts for 1490 Doom. We're getting ready for some community play seasons things. And so, but as far as, you know what's exciting? I found my Proxen cutter, and I started cutting 1,000,000 bricks. I'm in the process of just inhaling cancer as I cut those bricks, you know?
You don't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how to get around it. I open the window, so it goes out, but that stuff stinks.
You could wear a mask, but it's too cool.
I'm too cool. I'm way too cool for a mask. So, I'm cutting 1,000,000 bricks. I want to do a cool 1490 Doom tower that's from one of the stories. I want to actually make the board for it. So that's what I'm working on.
Awesome.
Nice.
Sweet. Cody, how about yours?
I got to be honest, Dave. I've not made nearly enough time in my life for the hobby overall, because any time that I have like a cross section of extra time where I could, abide by the Dave Taylor Bible and just spend an hour a night, I just end up spending that hour designing another game or something like that. But I did somewhat recently kind of back a game made by our friends at Black Site Studios, because I really enjoy the stuff that they make. And I was kind of excited to try my best to do something that is not very grimdark, or even the opposite of grimdark. So they recently came out with a game called Whispers of the Deep, which is heavily inspired by Studio Ghibli and that particular style of anime. So I have, I think, all but 3 of the models from like the original range now painted up, and I tried to actually use a color picker to paint these based on the actual color palette from Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind.
Oh, cool.
That's why they kind of all look the way they do. They are very much speed painted. I did not put the time I normally put into miniatures. That at least Dave, you know, I usually spend more time than this, but
yeah,
I've just had a lot of fun, you know, putting together just some kind of more vibrant, say like lighthearted miniatures, which is not typically my style, but kind of like went out of my way to go outside of the box. And
where's the big dude?
Well, there's a couple big dudes
with all the folds.
Say with all the folds. Do you mean this gentleman?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Eric really likes this guy. I think it's a great miniature, but I think it's probably like my worst paint job in
It's a cool
batch,
miniature.
because I didn't pay like that much attention to him, but I just really enjoy this fella.
Oh, that's cool
He has such a just magnificent like set of just ridiculously absurd like enhanced features. He has like the biggest head and the biggest ears and the biggest eyes and the biggest nose and his ridiculous eyebrows. That's not flame. That's literally his eyebrows. They like overtake over half of his hat.
Those are his eyebrows? Oh my god.
Yeah, those are his eyebrows. Yeah. So
eyebrows are important.
Yeah. There's other hobby things kind of sitting around here, but they're all kind of in service of Buer Games, so I don't really count it. So that's my fun little side project I've been working on.
Oh,
what is that? What's that game called?
It's called Whispers of the Deep. It's by Blacksite Studios. And in this particular game, it's actually kind of the same scale as our game 1490 Doom. You have like 2 to 3 models per side. And the concept is there is a sunken city that was recently discovered that's kind of like Atlantis style hidden. And your Delver and their little, you know, hired mercenaries are going down there to try to dig up valuable relics. But as you do, and you create noise, you disturb spirits that want you to leave the city alone. So, you know, you both have to fight each other and fight off the spirits.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
That's neat. Excellent. Just quickly, Josh Potter, he apologized for jumping the gun, but he had to, he's going to be on the road, but he'll jump back in and see the rest of the show later. And Sean Gleason has joined us. Hi, Sean. Cool.
What's up, Sean?
Excellent. Sean's been working on some Blood Bowl stuff, Dark Elves and Wood Elves.
Very cool. I have a dwarf team, a Chaos dwarf team for Blood Bowl kind of sitting aside. And I can't decide whether to use it for Blood Bowl or use it for my Chaos Votan conversions. So it's still in the pot, still in the box. Maybe one day, Sean, I'll be able to join you. Join you on the field.
Yeah. Excellent. That's cool. Well, I also have been busy.
Of course.
Yep. Preparing for the Kickstarter to launch next week.
That's how you know Dave. That's how you know Dave's not AI.
How do you know I'm not AI?
because if it could be just, we would say, hey, have you worked on anything? And AI might go, no, not really. And I'd be like, get him, it's not Dave. Like, Dave's always working.
That's fair. I figure if I slow down too much, I'll die. But
you can't die until you paint your last model. You remember the rules?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say that, but
then if we just keep putting out models, Dave will be immortal, right?
Yeah, Dave is effectively immortal.
Perfect. Done.
Fantastic. So just quickly, Scott Reedham has just asked a question. So Blacksite's game, is it like yours at all? We have to continually go lower instead of higher. So it's like 1490 Doom in the
yeah. I mean,
you got to go somewhere,
Scott. That you're trying to kind of throw us flowers, but no, we trade stuff kind of like inadvertently, like back and forth. Like we were inspired by Lunar, Blacksite's game, when we were designing 1490 Doom. and that kind of is the reason we landed on the scale we did. They definitely did not just like rip off 1490 Doom to make Whispers of the Deep.
They're like 1940 Mood. That's our new game.
Yeah.
1940 Moon. That's what they should have called it.
They should have called it that.
Oh, that would have been fun. But yeah, no, yeah, they don't rip us off. We don't rip them off. There's just a lot of concepts in war games that have kind of been like traded around, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
If they start coming out with round boards for their games, though, I will hunt them down.
Yeah, for sure.
Dave,
Yep.
Tell me about your. I don't know what this is. Do you do something nightly? Is this the Dave Bible?
Oh, yeah, hour a night. Yeah.
I want to know about this, Dave. Tell me, teach me.
He's famous for this.
Right. No, basically, when I wrote ages ago, I wrote Armies and Legions and Hordes to kind of basically dip my toe in publishing, but do the project myself. For myself, so that if I made mistakes, I was the only one I was screwing over. And I made mistakes, of course. But Jake has a copy of it. Whee!
Yeah, you need that book, Eric.
Okay.
This would connect with Eric because he lives by a very similar principle. He paints a lot and he paints fast.
Excellent. But yeah, one of the things that I said in there is make your painting a habit, not a chore.
Oh man.
I got a bit of flack from people for that because they were like, no, painting should be like when you're in the mood and you're excited to do that. And it's like, you can also paint when you feel like that. But if you got 50 boots to paint on Imperial Guardsmen, you don't have to be inspired to paint that.
I will never get those 50 boots done.
No.
That's why almost no one gets their army done, because they don't paint like Dave. And he's proposed, like, if you just spend 1 hour a night, your army will be done that year. It will happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need to be 1 hour a night. It has to be a scheduled thing. So if you were like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I paint for 45 minutes, or every 100%. Sunday I paint for 2 hours. Like,
every Tuesday.
That's a true principle, Dave. It is. I love it. And a lot of times I've heard that argument. Well, I don't feel creative. I don't feel good. But 9 times out of 10, once you start, that's how you get it. Like, very rarely am I like, oh, I just want to paint, or just go do music or whatever. I'm just dying for it.
Cart before the horse. Like, so much of what we do at Buer Games, it's not painting, but it is most of it is creative work. Or I shouldn't say most of it is not creative work. Like, most of it is pretty hard to get through. Where there's a lot of, just when it comes to like making a game or having a game company, that's not fun at all. But we have found, like, time and time again, nothing's going to happen if you just sit around and wait until you feel happy and inspired and everything's perfect and the stars align. But if we just each day make sure that we get together and we push through those tasks that need to be pushed through, we dig up so much more inspiration that way. We have too many ideas. We can't make all the games now that we have ideas for. And that only started happening when me and Eric just, were responsible to each other and tried to be responsible to the world to make great things. So we showed up. And if you want to do that for your hobby as well, even if it's in a small way, every week, every month, just showing up makes all the difference.
Dave, are you pretty diligent with 1 hour a day? Like, are you pretty? I know that's impossible, but are you pretty good?
It varies, but usually it'll be like 2 or 3 or 4 hours of an evening. But yeah, some days I don't. Some days I get home. Like today, I got a little bit of time before the show to do some stuff. And then afterwards, I will go upstairs. I will have some dinner, and I will sit down on the couch, and my brain will just empty. But tomorrow night, I'll get some more work done. But one of the things that I always came back to, played such a big part in my life was the 1984, like David Lynch's 1984 Dune.
Dune, yes, love that one version.
There's that line in there where what's the name? Paul Atreides says, "I'm not in the mood," and Patrick Stewart, Gurney Halleck says, mood is a thing for cattle or love play kind of thing. It's true, yeah. Like miniature painting, you don't need to be in the mood. You can just sit there and paint. There's mechanical stuff that you can do to get stuff done, and then the exciting when you are in the mood, when you are excited about it. But so many times you hear people who are like, I wasn't in the mood, so I didn't do anything. And then like 6 months later, it's like, how's it going? It's like, well, I
Never got the mood.
No, stuff's just piled up on top of my desk, and I
Yeah.
haven't got anything. I can't get to. But anyway,
Yeah, the only time I hear that anymore is from my wife, anyways. So,
Dave, I have a question. I have one more question for Dave because Dave's a legend. Dave, I see your desk on my screen. It's very small, but it looks kind of messy. Tell me about what you need to do to be creative. If you can make stuff in chaos. I'm the opposite. I have to have a pretty clean desk to get started. I have to have my studio clean. But,
Dave.
There's no wrong or right. I'm just wondering, what do you do as the legend of Dave Taylor here making stuff? Do you have to have a clean desk or not?
No, I can't. My desk. I could clean this desk off. It would take me 3 weeks to clean this desk off, but I could clean this desk off and then start again. But it's the part of my brain that goes through and organizes things. It doesn't organize things out here. Everything's organized in here.
Okay.
So once I finished working on something, or it's like I've got these the squat prospectors from Necromunda.
Nice.
I'm going to be using as
Love those models.
Guard for my Votan, and so I chopped off the end of their sort of weapons, and I want to get the plasma gun ends from the other Hearthguard and put them on there. But I haven't got those plasma guns yet. So these guys sit on my desk right here until that happens. And then they'll slowly slide, and some of them will fall off, and I'll put something else back, and I'll have to keep making sure that I've got things that aren't on my keyboard right here. It's a whole craziness. People look at this and like probably be physically sick, but
Dave's,
So you can
desk
thrive
is
in chaos.
Dave's
cool.
desk is like Einstein's hair. Like
Yeah.
it's like it covers up like the genius that is Dave. But I'm with you. Like Heresy's in the chat. Like, so we're on a thread. We're all on the factory team, and somebody was like, "Hey, what's your workstation look like?" And somebody posted it, was like, "Oh, my desk's a little messy." And then Dave posted a photo, and we're all like, "Dave, did you get robbed? It looks like somebody came in and like literally ransacked his place."
Or just
like,
open boxes and just ship them on the desk.
But I get it. It's part of Dave's like process. Like if you go back and you watch all the old episodes, Dave's desk, what's there changes, but like the state remains.
yeah.
I can't paint like that. Like I have that typey part of my brain. Like, but it's also part of the reason I think Dave gets through stuff so much quicker. Like when I go to paint, I have to set everything up. So I set up my mat, and then I go get all my paints, and then I get what I'm going to work on, and I have everything organized in a certain way, and I'll crank through stuff. But also like it's the motivator. Like Dave's motivation and Dave's hobby is painting, whereas my motivator is I have 3 weeks to get an army done for Adepticon. Like, so I need that. But Dave will vouch for me. Like I need that motivation to get through the tape. It's the only way I'm going to get stuff done.
But you do.
He will get it done.
But you do. You get it done every time.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. But I'm gotta say though, I'm exactly like Dave. You know, Eric's been in my house before, and even when like my living room is nice and clean, I have like a display shelf that I put the miniatures that I do have, although I've given almost all mine away now. And even when everything's in a good state, I have a painting desk. It's like a secretary that I'm probably going to get rid of because I'll start painting at the studio rather than at home. But you know, the years that I've had it, if I have active projects, it's flipped down, and from the back of the secretary all the way out to the front, it's just littered with paints and models and like sprue bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because at least for me, like I'm in the same right as Dave. I much prefer, like, I like the act of painting, and that's kind of like what's motivating to me. But I'm highly motivated if I have to walk by my project, right? Like if I like walk through like my painting area and stuff, and I see the models, you know, even if they're neglected for like a couple days or something like that, and I think to myself, I gotta get back. Exactly.
So then they-
100%.
Someone
So-
said I was gonna clean, but I'm not in the mood. Heresy.
Yeah.
For
Not in the mood, Dave.
Not in the mood. Not in the mood for cleaning. for sure.
But my new thing that's been helpful, and I think it kind of falls in between the two of you. So Army Painter used to make this cool thing called the Project Station, and it's basically, it almost looks like a TV dinner tray thing that has like a rack on the back for paint.
I gotta see this. I'm gonna look that up. What's
like
it called?
they used to be called the Paint Project, like the Paint Project Station or something like that. They currently don't make it. It's supposedly it's coming back at some point. There's a couple companies that make things that are like them, but the idea is it's a tray that's like this big, and it's a square that's like this big. So I have all my stuff on it, and I have all the paints for that project on it. And then all I do is I take it and I put it under my desk because I have a bunch of shelves. I just put it under my desk, and then when I want to work on it, instead of me having to set up my whole thing, it's already set up. I just pull it out, put it on top of my desk, and I can paint. I'm trying to get a new one of those. I can't. My
These
old
are
one.
cool. I'm looking at them
like
right
I said,
now.
they're hopefully they're coming back. The
a really
rumors
good
that they're going to be
idea.
printed, but
I had a friend who I have a friend. His name is Bill, and he actually brushed shoulders with Dave a long time ago. But the way that he kind of deals with his projects is very similar. But he just has rows of shelves and really shallow sterilite bins. And then he'll lay out all the miniatures like built and on their bases and primed, and set the paints that he needs for that project. And then he just like has them up on shelves, and he just tries to like, work on building and painting what's like in that bin until it's empty. And he's like, that's when he starts another project, is when that like,
God, I like that, but that's too much. I can't have I can't have 19 projects going on at once. Like, I'll never get stuff done.
Oh man, if you saw the amount of
I can't have
he has going on, he has like something like 80,000 points of works. So
I have nine projects going on, but
got those rookie numbers.
yeah, I can't have less than five twitching. But it is time. I do have a couple of other things to show. So I'm going to jump into the presentation for a sec. This weekend, I went up to New York.
And saw the Lost Boys.
Well, in New York with my daughter. We're checking out a university up there that she might be going to in a year and a half. Who knows? But yeah, Saturday night we went and saw The Lost Boys, the musical.
Nice.
And she'd never seen the movie before. And like at intermission, I said, "What do you think?" And she's like, "This is so good. This is so cool." It's like, yes.
Is there a shirtless guy playing saxophone in the musical? Because if there isn't, they're doing it wrong.
It's in there twice.
Yeah.
Twice. It's great. They make some adaptations, of course, movie to stage. The set is incredible. The design, the way that it works, the way that they did all the different things, like the when they're racing along on the motorbikes, they had that scene.
Nice.
But obviously they couldn't have like 5 motorbikes going on like on stage. But the way they did the lighting for that was spectacular. The bit where they jump off the bridge, the train bridge, all fantastic. They had the second floor of the house with the boys' bedroom lowers down from the ceiling to fit into the thing. It's it was just really cool. But because that's a movie of our era, I figured that I would mention that.
Nice.
If you're in New York, you get a chance to go and see The Lost Boys, definitely do it. I think it's been nominated for like 12 Tonys as well.
Nice.
So huge.
Better if they got Kiefer Sutherland to sing in it, but
I would have been fantastic. But
nice.
anyway, so this is a model I've been working on this week. Just digital kit bashing and printed it out and done some additional work. This is for the Trench Crusade Arena Challenge that we're doing.
Is that the Shrine Anchorite?
The Shrine, the Anchorite Shrine.
Is it for the Methodicus faction, or is it just an alternate shrine?
for the procession of the Sacred Affliction.
Oh, very nice. Okay, cool. I was
The-
going to say Methodicus because they can have 2 shrines, but
Yeah.
no,
This is
really
the one. But, yeah, this procession of the Sacred Affliction are the ones that are coming in the carcass front.
right.
block.
Carcass front.
The millstones is a big sort of feature in their look. But
Dude, a millstone shield. That just clicked with me, Dave. That's brilliant.
and
That's
I use the parts from the generic, I say generic, but the original Catherine wheel for the Anchorite Shrine, and did some slicing and moving around, and then some additional putty work on this the prisoner on the front.
so good.
So and then that's it.
Cool.
That is gorgeous.
That's great.
You nailed it, Dave. That's fantastic.
That was that's what I've been working on this week. There's a couple other things, but they'll come up a little bit later. But yeah,
That Horus Heresy box gets a lot of work as a stage.
it does. It's like, and you see like the back here of my so this is
Your
my
limestone walls, your pipes. Yeah.
there's no sense in hiding it.
Dave, we should just put like a photo box or a light box down there somewhere for you.
Yeah, it sounds like that'd take time away from my painting.
Now we sound identical.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Cody, unless you're swinging by to install that, that's not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Well, they literally just pop up, like
Yeah.
Eric put one here in our studio in 30 seconds.
But I had space on my desk. Dave obviously doesn't.
I do.
Hey, what if we make it a project?
No,
That's one of the projects.
I won't be fooled by that.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the part of the show where we thank the Army Painter, who are our season sponsors. As Jake mentioned before, Jake and I are members of the Army Painter factory team. I thought I'd share this post. This is from our friend Robert Medwell, Metas Miniatures, who is also part of the factory team. He was recently invited to go to a D&D in Castle event in the UK, where he did an airbrushing seminar for folks there, which was a lot of fun. So definitely very cool to see Metas getting out and doing some cool events.
This is a cool event space. It's way nicer than.
Yeah.
It looks like people are also eating, because I'm pretty sure the 2 guys on the table on the left, that looks like food to me.
It does look like food. It would be pretty crazy if they were airbrushing that, but no, I think you're right. I think this probably started towards the end of dinner, and plates would be cleared and airbrushes brought out.
Where was this? What city?
Somewhere in the UK. I'm not sure which castle it was in. But
so cool.
There's been a lot of really cool events in the UK, like taking places in castles, both on this scale and on the indie scale. I'm really excited by just like that trend in general. It'd be cool if we had access to the same sort of structure here in the US.
We just need an older country.
All we really have as far as like limestone washes is Dave's basement. So I guess we just have to
painting
we'll
minis
just have to meet there and bring a photo box.
Yeah,
painting minis in Dave's basement. There's an exclusive event. Limited space, limited seating, very velvet rope.
very good.
Yes. Yeah, admission occupancy, Dave.
Yeah, pretty much. It's my nest. I nest down here.
It's
Anyway,
all one-on-one.
Very exclusive event.
I mentioned it previously as well. So Jeff Smith, our friend who passed away recently, Patrick Keith sculpted this face in the hand holding the brush. This is the stage where his converted miniature is at.
Very nice.
That is cool.
I keep adding some more to it each week. So hopefully by next week or the week after, I'll have it completely finished. But
Dave, that is so special, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
once we've got it done, we'll be not auctioning, but raffling that off for and proceeds going to his family. But
who sculpted his head? Who was that?
Patrick Keith
from Bombshell.
Bombshell Minis. down in Texas.
Really, really well done.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, kudos to Patrick and touching tribute from everyone involved.
Next up, I'm mentioning John Blanche's On Guard Vanguard.
Yes.
So
It funded. What a surprise!
yes, the Kickstarter went live last Friday, and they're at 92,000 as of this morning. They've got a miniature that they're ready to show off. It'll actually become an add-on, I think, to the campaign at 100,000, which is a very cool mini. I've been fortunate enough to see a preview. And, I haven't received one, so I haven't painted one yet, but I'm excited to get my hands on one.
Oh, that'd be great.
But yeah, definitely cool. There's a link to this down below. And also, as I mentioned earlier, so volumes 16, 17, and 18, Kickstarter goes live next Friday, 15th of May. Again, a link down below to be notified on launch.
Dang.
Very cool. Okay.
You've done so much. I'm very, very impressed. I had no idea you had this many volumes.
Oh, he's a busy boy.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Well done.
I keep saying that, like, even when I retire from it, like every other job, I'll just keep making these 3 a year until I
He gets itchy. You can see him. He's like, I can stop anytime I want.
Yeah.
Not really. I know I can't.
Dave,
Boys, got any VR dubs in your basement?
Dave, what was the genesis of this project? Like, what drives you to keep doing this one?
This one, originally, it was, I think originally it came from my excitement and enthusiasm about a lot of the stuff that the Ink 28 community was doing. Events like, that we'll mention in a moment, Gelida, Pilgrim, bunch of others that were done in the UK.
Islands.
Well, that never happened, but
Hey, which is befitting the name.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wanted to do some books based on those settings and those events that were put on, and I actually pitched the idea to Games Workshop as a licensed product, but they didn't go for it. And I was like,
big surprise.
I still want to be able to share what people are doing. What's another way that I can share what cool art people are making in the miniature space? And it was like, oh, I could do this. I had a chat with Aaron Lovejoy from Miniature Monthly about doing that, and we worked out, okay, well, let's make a book about Miniature Monthly, and I can make a book with Christoph Kyle or Cornell, Anna Blanche, who's Gardens of Hecate, or Hecate, and bring those sort of people to put something together that I'm good at, which is books, and put them out into the world. So that was sort of where that started. And there's just so many wonderful artists out there that I won't get a chance to get everybody, but if I can get lots of great people, it would be fantastic.
Dude, you're a historian. This is really cool. And how big are these books on average? I know I've seen them, but how many pages are in
We
there?
have some.
I know, but I want Dave to tell me.
They're all the same size.
110, 112 pages, that sort of thing.
It's a significant book. That's a lot of work. I just wanted people to know how much work he's putting into that.
That's a lot. Oh, don't worry, I tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention in between all of this, he made the 28 collected book, which is an absolute labor of love. I'm speaking of the Ink 28 scene, but that is a massive tome and lives, in between. Somehow you fit that in between the Art of series. And I don't think you should tell anyone how, because a magician does not give away his secrets.
Heresy has just said, I love that this episode has turned into 1490 Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen.
Exactly.
Anyway, as I always do, I ask our guests to send us in some photos for our slideshow. And Cody sent a few from, I guess this is an event that Cody ran, or setting that he created, an event that he ran in that Ink 28 space that I was talking about, called Gelida. Is it Gelida, the Frozen Expanse?
Yeah. Yep, it is.
And this is something that I saw not in time to be able to make my way out to Utah, but in time to understand that I could still be involved in some way. So Cody and I started chatting. We talked about the setting. Cody, do you want to tell us a little bit about the setting for Gelida?
Sure, absolutely. So the premise of Gelida is that a backwater planet in a solar system that's not even on the star charts is plagued with, frigid cold and blizzards. And unfortunately for the denizens of Gelida, they're largely stuck there. As far as they know, no one has actually escaped Gelida's orbit, because the higher up you go into the sky and the atmosphere, the more violent the storms become and the blizzards that tend to knock down anybody's attempt to leave. But if anybody has escaped, they did not come back. They did not tell anyone where Gelida was. So it continues to be this forsaken planet that's been abandoned by the galaxy as a whole. Humans have on this planet been forced to kind of relegate to the equator, which the largest names on this map, Muris, Ixilium, and Domina, represent houses that kind of stand over the 3 large cities that exist. And I'm sure, 3 cities seems absurd, but this is actually a very small planet. Their day cycle is only 5 hours. And people have to kind of preside in that equator in order to stay alive, because most of the rest of the planet, you'll freeze to death. So naturally, the setting became or becomes kind of a mechanized setting. Scouts, as you can see here, a scout with his Valiant vehicle, they depend on various different kinds of vehicles in order to survive when they go out past the equator itself. And they have to. Humanity depends on them doing that, because all the resources on the equator would dry up fairly quickly if scouts didn't traverse the frozen expanse. So the end result is a very lonely, very desolate, very Nietzschean setting.
Cool.
Very cool use of a knight. I like the you climb up and just pull the top down and they climb in there.
Thanks, man. Yeah, this was actually the first mini that I started doing for Gelida. So back in the day, I went to Adepticon for a different event. I believe it was for the Ash Wastes,
right?
Or it might have been just when I went to Chicago for Mayor Salam, the first time that I met Isaac and Vince and Dustin. And but after one of those Inc. 28 events, I was texting back and forth with Vince, who you might know as Dark Tech on Instagram, about what I would like to do if I was to do a setting. I said, if I should be so brave and bold and egotistical to believe that, people would play in a setting that I make, I don't know what it would be. But I started kind of throwing them side ideas, and this is what I landed on by the time my plane landed. As I was texting back and forth with him, this was kind of the idea. And then I immediately went and picked up an Armiger, which was kind of a new kit at the time. And I just started kind of chopping bits away, and I landed on this like the very next morning. I posted a work in progress with the body turned up like this. And I distinctly remember the first comment from people being like, how did you make a new setting and a new model this fast? This is insane. But for at least in the book and such, I kind of referenced to this as a Gelidan pattern Armiger. But there were several other people who kind of had the same idea at the same time. Good friend Paul, who worked on the Gelida book, as well as Dave. They both helped me with some of the type and the layout. he also happened to be making an armature that was upright like this, except it still had arms. But yeah, there was so many beautiful conversions, and just I can't express what just a golden era it was to be a part of this. I would say kind of like the second wave of Inc28 when it rose up on Facebook and on Instagram. So for anybody who's interested, if you just look up hashtag Gelita40K, if you want to see more of the creations other people made way better things than me, especially if you see like what Anna from Gardens of Hecate made, and the stuff from my friend Dave, who's Polysmith on Instagram. I mean, the great Dave Taylor here. I have miniatures sitting in my office right now that he made that were specific, very tailor-made. It was a very legendary character that mattered a lot for the Utah event, dragging what resources he could away from his crashed armature that was stuck in the snow. It's beautiful, very narrative, very atmospheric. And yeah, there was countless people who helped us make this setting what it was when we ran these events.
I think it's very cool. As I said, this is where you and I started talking a lot more online.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that with these events going on, somebody doing something somewhere that's very cool, even if you can't make it, you can go, hey, can I send you something? Can I send you a model, a character, an objective?
Yes.
Something, whatever it might happen to be. So yeah, definitely some very cool stuff. And I'm glad you threw these images in the
folder. Of course. Yeah, I'm just happy to talk about it again. I guess like there's kind of like a deep soft spot for me with Gelita because of just how many, beautiful, wonderful people helped kind of make this a reality. The Inc28 kind of tradition just felt like it lacked any sort of ego. Everybody who was involved was just working together to build something based on just kind of a premise or a prompt, and watching so many cool ideas be kind of pushed to the boundaries of what would fit this world that I had nothing to do with. Was kind of the most fun part, to see like what other people thought would live in or fit this world the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So from this, we go, this was about 6 months before the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, just about.
Crazy times. And
indeed.
At some point during that, you and Eric start working on 1490 Doom. Eric.
Yeah. Interestingly, it was right after Adepticon came back. But Eric can definitely tell you the most about the origins of this setting, because 1490 Doom was very much his idea and world.
Yeah. Cody kind of showed me what Inc28 was. I had no idea. I grew up playing like Hero Quest and Battle Masters and that type of thing. But then I kind of found myself playing Rangers of Shadow Deep, which was really cool. And then that was my like intro. And then Cody saw me doing that online, and we had known each other for years, but not very close. But we reconnected over miniatures. And then so Cody taught me all about Warhammer and Inc28 and all that kind of stuff. And I started getting really poor because of it. And then we went to Adepticon, and I think it was it Gelita was the year that we.
Yeah.
Kingswood was the first year, and then Gelita was the second year.
The first year that Adepticon came back after the pandemic, I brought all of the miniatures and terrain that I had at my disposal to kind of show people Gelita again, for anybody who might have missed out on it, and brought like a couple little self-guided scenarios they could play through.
That's right.
And at that time we met all the awesome gents from the Hive Scum podcast and that sort of thing briefly. And that's kind of like when we coming home when we did this. The year before that, though, was your intro to Ink 28, which was Kingswood.
Yeah.
Where I kind of made like a dark age of Sigmar sort of setting for people to play in. But this kind of arrived as a prompt on the way home. Me and Eric always kind of find that this just long, monotonous, like arduous journey across Iowa and Nebraska when we're driving the 22.
It gets you thinking. You're like, why are we here? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, no, yeah. We do like 22 or 23 hours, to get to Adepticon, and then the same drive back every time we drive out there. And a lot of it is just over what looks like just identical cornfields. So we're forced to get creative and just we delve really deep and talk to each other and just kind of make the ride entertaining. That's where we get a lot of our great ideas. And that all kind of started before we ever had a company. I just kind of posed the question to Eric, I think it would be really cool if the next time that we came back, you had a setting of some kind, So like what if you were to design a game, or design kind of a world, just like a little world building project, what would that be like? Right. And, Eric can tell you more about.
I didn't have an answer then, but we talked about a ton of different ideas. But I think it was like a month later, I was building terrain is my favorite thing to build. I was building a castle, and I was listening to just some cool music or so. I don't remember, but I had the thought of like, if you can see my studio, I have like retro futuristic posters. The lighting sucks, but I liked retro futurism and obviously medieval stuff. And so I was thinking like, how could I get a space helmet on a knight? Like how would that ever work?
Yeah. He's like, how can I justify
like
that?
Impossible, two impossible worlds colliding. Like what would cause that? Do we either go to the future or we go to the past? And I was building a castle at the time. So I'm looking at the castle. I'm like, well, I want to go to the past. And so just came up with the idea of some sort of like cataclysmic event that would force these medieval warriors to put on some sort of helmet that they would need for breathing. And so came up with the idea that there's this thing emanating from the earth that slowly rises and is kind of like a countdown to extinction. And there's the map. There's the map of Europe done by Barrett Stanley. He did all the art for our game. He did the art for Rangers of Shadow Deep, which I was very influenced by. So when we were making this game, he was my first person we hired. We wanted him to do it. So anyway, I came up with the idea of like survivors needing to get off the ground, and it just kept evolving. And the one thing that I love that we did is we made it so this can take place anywhere. So it's kind of an evergreen. You can have this story be wherever you want it to be, and localize your Doom Warriors and the stories that happen in those places. So it makes for a ton of great stories. And I really love lore and music and the world building aspect. And this just happened by luck, by dumb chance, to be a setting where tons of cool lore and different settings could come to be. And that's how it started, really. So I came up with the idea, and I came up with some like Doom Warrior classes. Scavenger was the very first. I love the idea of the scavenger just moseying through a dead world, just kicking cans, just trying to find what he can to survive, and then just like being kind of wiry and climbing up walls and learning where the most likely people have left things behind. So he was the very first and still my favorite Doom Warrior.
And it's no coincidence he has a bubble helmet.
Yeah, he has the fishbowl bubble.
It's made
helmet.
Of two cauldrons bolted together, but bubble helmet nonetheless.
I'm talking a lot, but that was how 1490 Doom came to be, and it's just kept evolving. But Cody was there to help me make the rule set be fun, and we really wanted to play on dioramas. Like instead of just big long flat boards with a couple pieces of string, we wanted to play on something that was so beautiful and so cool to look at. That you look at a board and you say, I want to be in that world. And if you want to be in that world, you're gonna spend time to be in there. And so Cody came up with the really cool idea of the round board, because it makes sense lore wise. If you can't see directly in front of you, you always look up. And so the idea is these Doom Warriors are all coming from different angles, equidistant to this fortress or tower or whatever they're going to fight over. And so that's why we deploy on the edges of the round board. And it's cool to see, because now if someone sees a round board, they're like, oh, that's 1490 Doom. It's become just iconic with the game. Oh, I like the picture you have here. Yeah.
The one of the crazy things is way back in 2001 at Games Workshop, when we were releasing Lord of the Rings, there are a few folks in different parts of the world who are like, "Oh, all of our demo boards should be round like a ring." And
oh, that's neat.
Yeah, and I think a couple of particular boards were made like that. But then when it came down to like everybody else just went for the standard square. It was like, I'm just going to put these guys on my regular Warhammer table. Is that okay? Well, okay, sure. But
yeah,
so there wasn't that adoption of it. Like there is, as you say, it's an important visual aspect, I guess. 1490 Doom, and it's part of that like understanding what it is. And I love that description, Eric, of that. When you can't see what's in front of you, you got to look up, and everybody's pointing towards that spot. So.
Yeah, there was two reasons that I had that idea of a war game on a round board kind of stewing in my head, but particularly related to 1490 Doom. Like Eric said, there's a creeping death of fog, destroying the world at this point, and a lot of people can't see in front of them, so they depend on looking up at these structures in order to find them. But in 1490 Doom, in a standard game, the way that you deploy is you take alternating turns deploying a single model, touching the edge of this circular board here. And you can't place your model within 5 inches of any other model, not just your opponent's model, any model. And even though, players might not experience it this way, the intent of that rule was to create the kind of feeling or object of illusion that no matter how well you plan to, move together to reach this castle at the same time, that once you emerge from the fog, you could emerge on the complete opposite side of the structure, because like the only compass you have to head towards this beacon, that's above the fog, is the building itself. So like you all could just end up separated and end up on completely different sides of the structure. But in addition to that, I don't remember who said it to me. I believe that it was Blanche. I believe that it was John Blanche. It said that that a base is a frame. That if like the miniature is the arc, the base is the framework. And I had always gravitated towards round bases as a player. I like a lot of the miniatures in Old World, and I think it's a very cool game. But even back in the day, I mean, I just found myself kind of like off put by square bases, just like the way that they look and they're presented. Not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just kind of an aesthetic thing. So, I mean, I was excited when Age of Sigmar came out because it was fantasy on round bases and oval bases, and I find them very appealing. So naturally, when it came to us kind of, starting a company and making our first war game, I kind of started expanding that thought to the battlefield itself. The battlefield is also very much a frame. It's a frame for your artwork that is your terrain, that is your play area, that is the the scene of which, your battle reenactment is taking place. And this being a round one, it's cool that it's identifiable and that people know that it's 1490 Doom when they see a round board. But I think more importantly than that, it's a different frame for your art than square, because square is not the only option, and it's never been the only option.
Right. No, that's totally fair. Totally fair. One of the things, I'm just going to skip back a couple of slides.
Yeah.
You mentioned the artist, Eric.
Yeah.
Who was that again?
Oh, his name's Barrett Stanley.
Barrett Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he was the Rangers of Shadow Deep artist, which was the gateway drug for me to get into this hobby. And so I fell in love with his style. So like I said, he was my first. And I showed Cody, and Cody's like, yeah, this will. But the thing is like, the Rangers of Shadow Deep isn't that. I mean, it's dark, but it's not that dark. When he sent the first sketches back, we knew that he was the right person. Like the first sketches, like, oh my gosh, he nailed it. It was the scavenger and scout and assassin or something. And we're like, yeah, like 100%. Like and then he influenced us. Like we've been influencing each other. He's essential to this world, man.
Yeah, Barrett is absolutely a puzzle piece to why the world of 1490 Doom is the way it is, just as much as me and Eric. But another thing that's worth mentioning, for anybody who's familiar with Rangers of Shadowdeep can attest this, you would never know that the art in 1490 Doom is Barrett Stanley. If you had just looked at Rangers of Shadowdeep and then took a look at the artwork in our book, he has such a range as an artist, and is just capable of so much, practically anything, that he put this unique signature look on 1490 Doom that no one else can really replicate. And it's just for this one project. He doesn't use this art style for anything else. He just invented it with the very first sketches he sent us.
Right. Nice. That is awesome. It's very cool.
We love piles of bodies.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I'm sure that's what most of that, the sort of the black base there is, like decaying bodies, right?
Yeah, I mean,
sludge.
We probably need to, pump them numbers up. But yeah.
But the game itself, I think we talked about it on the show before. I've shown some minis off and we talked about it a while ago. But just to refresh everybody, how many models a side?
It's 3 models per side. Those 3 models form your Doom Company, which are kind of representative of the last survivors of humanity in this world, because the world takes place from 1490 to 1494. And, 80-90% of humanity is wiped out, in between that time frame. So you have 3 models, not just because it actually works really well for the game length and the engagement, but also there's narrative reasons why it's hard to even find 2 compatriots in this world. And then after we deployed, as I'd mentioned how you do that before, we each have 7 turns. And in a standard game, there is a victory point available for what's called resourceful, because at the beginning of the game, we place resource caches on the board itself. There's a chance that they are either already empty or already destroyed by the creeping death. But if you can manage to be delicate and pull their contents out, that's an example of a resource cache. Then they might have very useful consumable items that you can use mid-game for kind of like one-off abilities. But you also get a victory point if you collect the most of those. You also get a victory point for attrition, which is just having the most models left alive. But most importantly, you get 2 victory points if you have the most living Doom warriors on top of the highest level. Right. Because at its essence, 1490 Doom is a King of the Hill game. That's why the terrain matters so much. Because it's very vertical, it's very terrain centric. It's all about getting to the top, and then once you're there, Leonidas kicking your friends in the chest off of that tower and watching them careen back into the creeping death. So anything you can do to stall their progress, to get up there quicker, to push them over the side of an edge, edges you out towards victory. And in essence, the goal is to claim this structure and the potential resources it might represent, not just clean air, but clean food and clean drinking water, because what's down on the ground for the most part has been destroyed. But it's only a safe refuge for a short time. That's why it makes sense when you're playing a campaign that you play over a series of games and a series of different structures. Because even if it's a safe haven and a place for you to breathe clean air, eventually you're going to eat all the food, you're going to drink all the water, and you're going to have to move on. And you might run into your rival Doom Company again at yet another nearby structure, and have to see who can survive and who can stake their claim.
Cool. Excellent. I know that there are a number of different archetypes in the game. How many have you got now? In the base game there were 7. Is that right? 7 or 8?
Yeah. Wow. I love that you remember what was in the rule book back in 2024.
That was a PDF,
a lot of people consider the first like version of the game the more expanded one once it was crowdfunded. But yeah, now I believe that we are at 18 with the release of the Reaver.
Cool.
But that also includes some named characters, because there are 2 expansion books that are designed for solo and co-op kind of narrative play, where you play through like a narrative series of games. And we included named characters, like legendary characters in those books that are the rules representations of the characters in Eric's podcasts. Another cool thing about 1490 Doom is Eric.
Yeah, that's my favorite guy. That guy's the best.
Oh yeah, that's
I love
Wilhelm
him.
and his dog Berengar. So these characters appear in the podcast The Last Night of Rotenberg. And so we wrote a book called The Fall of Rotenberg that kind of follows his early journeys through the creeping death alongside his dog. This is also Adrian and Simon. Adrian is kind of the main character of the Book of Adrian, which is another free lore podcast that takes place in 1490 Doom. And that's Father Gregor, who actually was there when Adrian's parents were buried early in the creeping death. But all those characters have their own special rules, and you can play them in standard games. There's special rules for how to do that with Wilhelm and Berenger, though. But the legendary characters are not made to be like perfectly balanced with the rest of the game. We pay a lot more attention to the like archetypal characters, like you're saying, the Doom Warriors that are intentionally generic.
Yeah.
And try to keep them as well balanced as we can for a really fun experience. But those characters, like kind of Dave alluded to, are more an archetype than they are, say, like a named character. We have things like a fighter or a warrior priest or a beekeeper or a brute. They're intentionally supposed to be based on kind of like loose archetypes, because this kind of is supposed to have a little bit of an Inc. 28 inspired feel to it. Like we can't get rid of that in our bones. It's like it's how we interact with the hobby. So we wanted to intentionally keep both the archetypes of characters loose enough that you could use any models to kind of put them together. You don't have to use ours. You can convert up and bash whatever you like to play the game. But in addition to that, this game is a pretty WYSIWYG game, not because it's very strict, but because the archetypes of weapons that you use are very loose. There's only a couple types. There's just light weapon, heavy weapon, polearm, shield, bow, crossbow.
Right.
So as a result, you can literally just stick your hand in a box of like fantasy or medieval miniatures, drop 3 of them on the table, and almost guaranteed you can go through the book and just say, oh, this fits as a fighter, this fits as a brute, this fits as a scout, and they're all armed correctly.
Right. That's cool.
And then off you go. You're ready to play.
That's excellent. Very cool. And at Adepticon this year, you guys not only had a booth in the vendor hall, which was very well attended.
Yeah.
You also had a tournament running. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. We had a 1490 Dune tournament. It sold out in like less than a minute. So we're gonna try to run more tournaments next year, because we're exhausted we're not painting any more castles. Like Eric helped me the second time around, so now he feels my pain. Because I painted the castles for the first tournament, and he largely painted the additional castles we needed for this year's tournament. And his comment was, man, that tournament was fun. I am never painting these castles again.
That's true.
We had to have 10 castles.
That's where Dave comes in.
Dave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just need to send castles to Dave, and then it'll be fine. No, we think that it would be better if we keep the size that we had. We had such a blast with 20 people. It's just a really good size for 1490 Doom tournament. It was really epic, but it took place in a reasonable amount of time. And we kind of went through a whole campaign. They not only were, playing games and seeing how well they could do, but the scenarios were actually tied to the timeline. They started in 1490, and then they played in 1492, and then they played at 1494. And then because we had a 3-way tie at the end, there was a very special event in 1495. The whole world is dead except for their 3 captains. The rest of their companies were gone. Right. And we placed them at we as judges got to deploy them at the very top level of a particular castle setup, and just told them, you have 1 health, and if you fall, you die.
Right.
Last man standing wins, or died last, I guess is the best way to put it.
It was epic.
It was epic and so much fun. But yeah, in subsequent years, we just need to run more of them. We'll probably have to run 2 or 3 tournaments at the next Adepticon, because there's just never enough room. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to just quickly show a photo of. Again, I have shown this photo before on the show, but
yeah. Oh, these are Dave's models
that I painted up a while ago now. It's just for Adepticon last year, 2025. But yeah,
I love how much color and life you got in these minis, and you literally, like, Dave was like, I want to try something new this time, so he like sprayed them black and then kind of built up colors, but like deliberately focused on the top part of the model. So the further down the model you get, the darker and more like sort of recessed and grimy it is, which is just awesome. It just adds to the whole. It's like these dudes look like they've been trekking through the mud for like weeks.
These tell a story.
Oh yeah, I mean, like Dave, I did the article come out with this? Because initially, when Dave showed me these models, he told me he was actually painting these to kind of create an article to tell people about this new technique, where you essentially just intentionally don't paint beyond a certain point. That you kind of slowly paint less and less and less as you get down towards the model's legs and lower torso, to create this beautiful like illusion of light. And it works perfectly on 1490 Doom models because they're a little bit taller than other models are, because we really like these more realistic proportions. Shout out to Blightbones, who was the first sculptor to work on 1490 Doom. All of our sculptors are amazing, but he kind of set the bar for those proportions and did an incredible job. But Dave did an incredible job too of showing people that sometimes a model can actually be more beautiful because you painted less.
Yeah.
You actually only painted like 3/4 of the model, essentially. Like if you were to just kind of like inspect your, the way you typically paint a model. Right?
He also for Dave, like, added himself, like, this is a very limited palette too.
Very, very limited palette, which I love. It really shines through. It's perfect.
Dave, how many colors do you think you restricted yourself to here?
That's probably, so it'd be a dark brown, a dark green, that desert yellow kind of color.
The ochre.
Yeah, the ochre. Thank you. A red, silver, and a brass kind of, and black, kind of sticking within those.
Did you mix colors together to get that cold gray on the cowl for the scavenger there?
Yeah, everything's mixed.
That's so cool.
Probably would have been 6 or 7 colors, and everything's mixed.
That's great.
That's cool.
That's so awesome.
The red is shaded with the dark brown. The dark brown. So, but yeah, I think it's as a setting, it's just sort of it's that dark setting where you're painting up. You're going to paint a collection of models that you can choose from, but if you're just going to focus on 3 models, this is a fun, like, evening or weekend project, and you've got yourself a Doom company.
Honestly, this is the perfect game for a painter who has to be in the mood.
Right? Yeah.
You're like, paint these 4 dudes.
Yep.
You give them a year, they'll get to it eventually. They got to be in the mood at least like one day out of that year, you know.
But if they get inspired or there's something that grabs their attention,
mm-hmm.
definitely gonna.
Yeah, and just one last note on these, Dave. Something that's just unintentionally or maybe intentionally absolutely brilliant about them from just the perspective of the people who kind of do the lore and the world building for this game. It also kind of reflects the way that the lower half of these warriors would be tarnished by the creeping death, as it's just kind of eating away at like the lower half of their shields and their shin guards and their pants, you know, where they would just cut, like if it's a fog that is deadly enough that it killed all the plants and the livestock on the planet, you know, it obviously would you know, over time, you know, create some level of entropy, you know, on the lower half of people as they have to traverse it. So kudos for, you know, making, you know, just naturally making models that tell that story.
Just lucked into that. I mean, but yeah, it was fun to play with that forced focus. So we're going to do a little bit more of that soon, I think.
Yeah.
But, excellent. So from the wild success of 1490 Doom, you guys have stepped into Carnivore. And initially, when you like first told me about it, I was like, well, this is a wild sort of radical departure. But then when I thought about it a little bit more, it was I can't remember exactly what the tagline is.
Eat first, die last.
Eat first, die last. It's essentially there are a lot of similarities in the, I guess, not necessarily the details of the backstory, but the idea of the backstory is that like it's limited time. There are limited resources. Right.
Yeah. Funny thing is I started working on this game before we started working on 1490 Doom.
Okay.
So I was one of those children, and I've found that I've found because of this game, I wasn't the only one who, when given the opportunity to enjoy Saturday morning cartoons or a little bit of play time, my parents would actually just find me in front of the TV watching documentaries about Allosaurus and things like that. I was that obsessed with dinosaurs. I mean, they would take me to the museum and I'd be like, I'm like, look over here, mommy, it's Camosaurus. And they're like, how do you know that? You're 9, you know?
And like I can still remember every dinosaur and every transformer by name.
Yeah.
That time period. Like you just become a sponge.
Well, congratulations. You have a war game now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. There are a lot
You're like, spell Dilophosaurus, otherwise this thing eats you. You're like, okay, well.
Dilophosaurus or Aurus. Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus is in our game.
Nice.
But though there are dinosaur-centric games in the wargaming space that are really cool, that I admittedly love. Really great one to check out is another one by Blacksite called We Played God. That's kind of like a Jurassic Park clone, where you're trying to survive as the humans as dinosaurs around you pose you a threat. But like We Played God, almost all of them have been, you know, dinosaurs in a park, or dinosaurs in Vietnam, or dinosaurs versus cavemen and things like that, or just dinosaurs in another setting, like in Warhammer Fantasy. You know, they had some really cool invented dinosaur models for the Seraphon. But since I was a kid, always wondered, why the heck is there not a war game that is simply the Paleo era? You know, like when the originators of war games, like when H.G. Wells was playing war games just like on the carpet in his house, and people kind of took the ball and ran with that. It seems as if the first things that they did is they decided, okay, well, we need to do Napoleonics. Okay, now we need to do the World Wars, right? Why was the third prompt not now do dinosaurs? Like, if we're all making cool historicals, I don't know if there is any historical setting that's cooler for a war game than this. And it just didn't really exist. So I decided after an Adepticon, I just got a bug on my butt. And after specifically seeing people who collect dinosaur models, there's some really cool dinosaur models. They're kind of like bigger vinyl figures, right? But there's people who collect them and they just have shelves and like rows and rows of these really cool models. And I was like, man, how cool would it be if I could collect those, but I had a game to play with them? If there was like a war game, because I think the same way that we do, like
I used to get all those, it's not MDF. It's like the same kind of wood they used to make, like, remember wood gliders and stuff?
These like balsa wood.
Like all the skeleton sets.
Balsa skeletons. Yeah.
I used to go to get those at the science museum all the time when I was a kid. I had so many of them.
Yeah, that's sick. And the cool thing, I mean, you could use those and play this game if you wanted. I mean, obviously the dinosaur is dead when you make it as a skeleton, so it doesn't quite look as cool. But
they're lich dinosaurs. There we go.
Yeah, they're lich. You're just playing the lich setting for sure. Yeah, but so I developed this. Carnivore is not, at least as a base game, it's not strictly just like a paleo setting though, because of Jurassic
Park. I get it. Like, they messed around and now they exist in our world.
No, I was going to say it's not that at all. It's just because the book, for the framing that was required in order to create the kind of gameplay that I wanted, focuses on extinction events, which is why the tagline is "Eat first, die last." The premise is that you and your opponent are both playing predators who are facing an extinction event. And there was a lot of them during the Mesozoic era, not just the one that turned them into birds, but, outside of the meteor, there was several extinction events across the Triassic, Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. And for the most part, it dramatically changed the environment, and certain dinosaurs went extinct because they couldn't adapt. But during some of the more dramatic ones, a terrible thing can happen for everyone involved. In certain environments, the herbivores can be outnumbered. If there's less herbivores than there is predators, then a very rare thing can happen that almost never happens in the natural world, where the predators might be forced to not only fight over the same species of herbivore, but actually fight over the same herbivore. So you meet on the field after both hunting the same herd of herbivores, and because you're both starving and there might not be any herbivores left in like the whole niche area in the whole forest or the whole valley, you're forced into this terrible situation where you not only have to risk taking a Stegosaurus's Thagomizer to the neck, but the Allosaurus might just eat you when you're done. So it's kind of a, player versus environment versus player kind of game.
So I saw that you had some my favorite dinosaur. You have some trikes painted up. So
we sure do.
So if it's a carnivore event, like, are these just like sort of like PvE things? Like my Allosaurus is fighting your Pteranodon, and like these are there, and then they could also attack us.
Correct. So it's interesting the way that it works, but it is essentially like what you're saying. But the herbivores, though, even though they aren't controlled by a particular player, there's a couple things that are important about them. One, they're the objective. In almost every scenario, the goal is to eat the most meat. And if all of the meat from the herbivores is eaten, the game can end early, right? Because the goal is to eat these guys, right? So we're both kind of after the herbivore meat, although you do have the option to kind of stray from that objective and just fight each other. And there's kind of like natural incentives to do that if you're behind. So, Jake, if you had a Tyrannosaurus Rex that had eaten more meat than my pack of Velociraptors, then I would kind of be incentivized to go out of my way to maybe attack you instead of the last Triceratops. Because as soon as that Triceratops is eaten, the game is over. And if you're currently ahead on meat, you'll probably be ahead on meat by the time that all that meat is gone. We actually, Eric and our employee Chris, I ran them through a game the other day, and it came down to the wire, and Eric walked away thinking he had won the game.
No, I thought I
He
lost.
had lost. Sorry, he had thought like, "Oh, Eric, Chris, you've won the game." So he kind of walked away, and then I pointed out to Chris as soon as Eric walked away that, Chris, you didn't have enough vigor left to eat the last piece of meat from the Ankylosaurus. So just because there was one piece of herbivore meat left, I brought Eric back down and I was like, the game's still going, and he's out of actions. And so his Allosaurus is just picked at the side of the Spinosaurus, and he just barely kills it and ends up winning the game just because the Spinosaurus couldn't eat fast enough to declare dominance, right?
It's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. But the herbivores guide themselves during the movement phase based on their instincts. And they generally all have different instincts depending on the species that you're dealing with, right? Where, for example, Stegosaurus is in our game herd. So almost all herbivores, if they can't see a predator, there's no predator in their front arc like anywhere, they will roam, where you take a D10, because the game's played with D10s, and you roll the dice. And the way the dice is pointing, because the top of a D10 is kind of like an arrow, is the direction they go, and how many inches they go is the number on the die.
Nice.
Which I cannot claim as an original concept at all. It's been used in other games. The guys at Black Site use it in We Play God. But it just made too much sense for herbivores in this game. But most of the time, that's not what they do. Most of the time, they default to doing what they would do when they're alert. And that behavior is different depending on the creature. With Stegosaurus, they'll turn away from you and towards their nearest ally and then move until they're close to each other. They try to herd up, right? Whereas they fought Ankylosaurus the other day, which Ankylosaurus was kind of like a lonely, isolated creature in real life. There's no real evidence that they herded up together or traveled together. So they don't really try to herd up. They just stand their ground, right? They just kind of stop where they're at and they point their heads at you and they just kind of dig in their heels like, come at me, bro. You know? So the game itself, it like swapping out which herbivore that you guys are deciding to hunt almost has more effect on the game than just than doing a different scenario.
Right.
You know, because like it's a living, breathing, objective that hits you back, basically. They don't take active actions, but the game, anytime that you take take like a fight action as you're trying to fight something, you'll roll a D10 and compare it to the other value. When predators fight each other, you both just roll fight, right? And then compare the values. But if you're rolling against an herbivore, you compare it to their guard stat, which kind of represents how well they can guard themselves. And if you roll above their guard stat, then we determine that impact value, which is how much you've exceeded it by. And then you guys roll a number of dice for the herbivore equal to that. And they're trying to roll equal to their guard or lower. And that's how they prevent the damage that you are dealing to them. But the same is true in the opposite direction. If you go to attack the Triceratops and you roll a 2, then it's probably beat you by 5. And so you have to pick up 5 dice because the Triceratops is it's not going to attack you. It's not like a predator, right? It's not trying to eat you. But if you fail to hurt it, it will hit you back. It will defend itself. So there's no riskless actions, essentially, in Carnivore.
Cool.
Look at that Packy.
That's the actual model.
Nice.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. I decided, because it's very common to see this kind of representation in like books for dinosaurs. where you'll see like a cool profile shot and it's either art or it's a 3D model. That for the core rulebook, I thought it would be so cool if I actually just have the 3D models here. And Christian, who's the sculptor I worked with for Carnivore, is as into dinosaurs as I am and did an incredible job, but also did us the kindness of coloring every one of them so that we could have these awesome pictures.
I still like one of the coolest things genetically is like when you look at everything today. So every single ecological niche, there's typically a mammal now that does the same thing that so like everyone's like, oh, Pachycephalosaurus. You're like, yeah, it's a bighorn ram. Like they do the whole thing where they get up on their side and they smash their heads together. Like it's always interesting to see that. Like instead of a Syracosaurus or one of the ceratopsians, you have like rhinos and things like that. Like it's kind of wild.
I was going to say Carnotaurus exhibited a lot of bighorn ram behavior because their horns were mostly for intraspecies. They hit each other with them. They didn't hit animals they were hunting with them.
Yeah, I assumed those are more like deer. When you see deer fighting to show who's dominant, it's the same thing. Like it's such a cool thing to see, like the ecological like sort of similarities.
Yeah.
When you play the game, you're going to get 4 models of the Packies, all different poses, and there's some other poses that are really fun because they're like, getting ready to ram. They're very action oriented. This is a very docile pose.
Yeah.
But, you get 4 of them because they're medium. Cody, you should explain like the 8, 4, 2, and 1.
Yeah. So the good thing for Carnivore, and I didn't do this intentionally, but it happens to be a really, really easy game to just pick up and start playing. Especially like, it'll be hopefully like really accessible for people who are just into dinosaurs, but maybe not familiar with war games. Because like your list building is just literally, oh, I want to play this dinosaur. And then you're done. The number of dinosaurs that you get on the board is determined by their size. So if you're playing Velociraptors, they're small. So you would get 8 models. Pachycephalosaurus is medium. Medium dinosaurs get 4 models. A large dinosaur like Allosaurus would have 2, and a mighty T-Rex or Spinosaurus or Edmontosaurus on the herbivore side only get 1 model because they're considered giant. And that's just based on the length of the dinosaurs in real life. Mass would probably be like a better indicator, but it makes a lot more sense for the game to do it on length for base sizes and stuff like that.
Right.
And so for the base experience for people who, get the book and they get a couple models and they want to play, there's no list building at that point. None.
Okay.
You don't need to add special abilities. You don't need to like add guns. You don't need to build an army. You don't need to figure out points values or anything like that. You pick your species. The species itself determines how many models you get. You play. Right. There is a cool expansion though that was unlocked during the campaign that will be made available to everyone eventually, called Designosaur. And that will be the way that we recommend people play Carnivore if they want a balanced experience. If they're playing competitively, or they just enjoy like a more balanced play, or my favorite reason to use Designosaur, you can use it to build dinosaurs we haven't made models for yet. Like if your favorite dinosaur is, say, like Carnotaurus, right? We want to release a model for that eventually, but we don't have one right now. You can use Designosaur, pick the abilities that best fit its niche, and then play it. You don't need to wait for us. So that document will be a living document we constantly just update based on feedback and balance the best we can with the points values. But that's very crunchy. Like people who like to get their fingernails underneath a rule set are really going to hopefully like Designosaur, because it's a lot like the VDR. It's a lot like a vehicle design rule system. So it gets deep. There's a lot of cool abilities to choose from. You build your stats up, based on points values and such. So
awesome.
But for the most part, it's just you grab your dinosaurs, you drop on the table, you play a game.
Oh, that's super cool. Sweet. I think it is amazing. And as Jake said, like folks, particularly like Jake, who mad, and yourself obviously mad keen on dinosaurs. It's another way to mash two interests together.
Absolutely.
Not just in a RAM kind of way. But
I love this comment here. 2 million BC Doom.
Yep.
That was me.
Yeah, there was someone on our YouTube the first time that we put up a trailer for Carnivore, who immediately said Warhammer 4 million BC or something.
Nice.
Like that.
There we go.
40, yeah.
40 million
40K BC, something like that.
Yeah. And I loved the accuracy, not only because it was cool, but that puts it in the late Cretaceous.
Right. Nice.
Nailed it.
Awesome.
Nailed it.
Do you guys want to hang out and check out some minis from our community? Maybe there's a dinosaur in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if there is,
that'd be fantastic. Yeah, we would love to hang out and check those out.
How big are the ones you made? Are they 3D prints so you can scale them? Or
that's a great question. I actually can demonstrate for you. I'll be right back, and I'll just those really nice painted ones. They were actually done by Kelsey from Chromatic Miniatures. You probably know her. I have them in my case in my office. I'll be right back.
You just as a plug, the Game Found Pledge Manager is live. So if anyone still wants to jump in and get the discounted pricing on the games, I think it ends the end of the month. So we got another couple weeks or something. I think it ends the end of May.
Cool. Down in the notes below, there is a link to Buer Games, and the link to the Game Found will be from there. You'll be able to go through from there. Nice.
Awesome.
So you should be able to access all of the different fun parts.
Anyone out there who wants to talk dinosaurs for hours, and Cody's your guy. Like, I like him enough, but he knows way too much.
Thanks everybody for waiting for a second. I would have been much quicker, but then I realized that it doesn't really do any of the viewers much good unless I have something to kind of like compare to for scale. So I have this unpainted, Trench Pilgrim here. That a while ago I just kind of 3D printed it. But I mean, for the most part, people should be familiar with like
20
this is
mil
at scale. It's very similar to Games Workshop and things like that, right? So a medium creature is actually scaled to fit against a 28 or 32 millimeter creature. This is in real life how big an Ostroraptor is compared to a human model.
Cool.
So if somebody wanted very accurate scaled dinosaurs models for their D&D games, or to use for conversions for Warhammer or for other games, they'll be ideal in that way. An example of a more beefy medium creature,
Ankylosaur, nice.
Ankylosaurus here, as you can see, just barely reaches maybe like shoulder height next to this Trench Pilgrim, but
could give a top down of it.
Much beefier, beefier model.
Nice.
than Ostroraptor.
These
and then
weapons
Jake, since you're absolutely
there he is.
There,
Triceratops is the best.
Triceratops, which next to a human, is about yay big in scale. A very, very formidable creature. But something neat that I want to point out about these creatures that I'll drop that mini. It's gone. I'll print one. So when I was first talking with Kelsey about having these painted, she's no stranger to painting dinosaurs, but she just said, I want to be transparent. I'm kind of known for painting in very vibrant, very big flashy color schemes, and I really like it. But I want to do this justice because, you said this is supposed to be kind of a paleo accurate setting and be pretty scientific. And I said, well, Kelsey, the good news is that there's only 10 dinosaurs that we have confirmed colors for. We cannot really say what color a Tyrannosaurus Rex was. The paleo representations we have are educated guesses. They're very educated in their guessing, but they're guessing. So I said, as long as your paint jobs are based on something that approaches a modern reptile or bird, it's defensible.
Yep.
You know, like, so even if people come into the chat and are like, actually, and try to hit us with that, we'll have the receipts. You know, we can literally
Heresy. So, Synthwaveosaurus is it coming?
Yeah. So, you know, this might to a lot of people look like a very, very wild interpretation of Triceratops. It's not. You know, this pattern here is based on a type of either iguana or chameleon. But
there's a lot of iguanas.
The thing is that up here, this is the pattern of the wings of a frilled lizard.
Yep. And
all dinosaurs are both reptiles and birds, technically speaking. So it could have looked that way, and we don't know for certain if ceratopsians use their frills as a mating display. They very well could have been peacocking. And
did you get the Spinosaurus?
I did not. So this bad boy,
that is the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, is if we were to bend out the tail, you know, to see how long it is, it's much longer. But I mean, from here to here is like easily 8 inches long. Very, very large, very, very beautiful model. She did That's just awesome. An absolute stellar job on the spinal there. So yeah, for those who have, you know, played Warhammer and workshop games and things like that, the same scale. You can drop these next to those models and they'll be accurate.
Awesome. That's super cool. Thanks for showing us those.
Yeah, of course.
Getting that scale idea. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, as I mentioned to you guys before the show, these are we're going to show some photos now from our Facebook community, from Build Paint Play community. If you anybody who's watching wants to get involved, just head to Facebook, look for Build Paint Play community, click join group, and somebody will let you in. And we'll jump into these now. And we got the right one. There we go.
So, nice. Adam's doing his. He's still chipping away at these guys.
Yep. Cool. First up, we had Adam on the show last week, and he's been encouraged to show some work in progress. But yeah, the Sniper Priest for his new Antioch Force, his brushes are looking fantastic.
Oh, excellent. And speaking, Synthwave is just kind of like the carry through for this episode, thanks to Jake. And the magenta undertones here are just peak. Like Perturbator would be proud.
Yep. Excellent.
I'm a Daniel Deluxe guy myself, but Perturbator.
Oh, dude. Well, we're going to talk after the show. You know, I don't want to derail the whole thing, but I think you'd like my music.
Nice. But no, fantastic work on him. It's going along beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous highlights in the cloth there. I love the very painterly distribution of the little like leather scratches and such I can see there in the folds.
Yeah, that was really
excellent. Cool. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, fantastic work. Next up, Adam Weller.
Ooh.
So this is a fantastic, fun new piece that he's been working on. I can't remember where he said he got this from, but I do love the things on this is like a paint, like a wall paint.
Yeah, this thing is wild. There's a lot going on here.
I love the tattoos. I would love to know even better. I mean, there's something just instantly terrifying about a blind warrior,
right?
Where you just immediately think to yourself, I think I'm dead. I think that's the result of this.
I could be in trouble here.
Yeah, exactly. But I also appreciate this harmonious palette, you know, where we're dealing with all you know, analogous colors here with the purple, the blue, and the red.
Right.
You know, really ties this together in a beautiful way. And then the splash of gold obviously is a great contrast with the purples.
With the purple show. Yeah, looking fantastic.
And really solid metallics in the necklace too. If that's non-metal metallics like the chain around his hands and stuff, that's stellar work.
That's so it will be, yeah. Adam's done some fantastic non-metallic work over the last pieces. but yeah, looking fantastic. And again, Adam always does wonderful work with textures. So
Yeah.
And there we go. Yeah, Mark in the chat saying Adam's stuff is always so good.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay, Dave, it's all on you here. You got to find another Adam so we can keep this chain going.
Chain rolling. No, I'm sorry. That's it for the Adams. We moved.
No, I thought it was going to be Adam Night. Oh, Chris, you did a great job. But change your name to Adam.
Yeah. Chris Gorka. So we saw Chris has been working on this Imperial Fist commission for a little while. This is the second Dreadnought who's put out for it.
I'll get to see this. I'll get to see this in person. This is for a guy at my store.
Nice. Oh man, just wait till it shoots a hole in your models.
Oh no. I mean, I'm gonna kill this thing, but
no, I mean, that's the worst part of like pouring love into your paint jobs is almost every time that's the story, right?
Yep.
If you paint something beautifully like this, it takes you like a month, and you put it on the table, it just gets shot off before it even activates. You know.
Yeah,
that's why you got to run 2 dreadnoughts. One is a target, 2 is a threat.
Right.
What if you just do both of them? You know, that's always what happens to me. I always get tabled when I bring beautiful stuff, so I just stopped making armies.
It is a beautiful piece. Awesome work there, Chris. Fantastic. Next up, Chris Marshall. Posted for a while.
His sea artillery witch.
Yep.
Nice.
But Chris has been working on a Heretic Naval Raiders force.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I was going to say right on time for the carcass front, and the water effects here are really, really cool.
Yeah. It's very like Mara from Aquaman, like using like hydromancy.
I think he did it basically. It's those parts, or actually all of it is a 3D print, but the water parts are using translucent resin.
Very cool.
But yeah, it just works beautifully. So I might get to play against this on Saturday. It's our new Brendan is starting off our new Trench Crusade campaign where we're all playing Fallen warbands.
Nice.
Yeah, interesting.
Very cool.
But yeah, Chris is ready to drop some bombs.
Fortunate for you.
Yeah.
Artillery witches are jerks.
They are indeed. But Chris is a nice guy.
Yes.
You just got to kill her early.
Oh yeah.
Last time I played against an artillery witch, I killed her with my sniper priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, beautiful work there, Chris. It looks great. Next up, Cliff Edders.
Nice. That's chunky boy.
Cool.
Yeah, this awesome Iron Warriors Saturnine Dreadnought.
So good.
Yep.
Is that from Horus Heresy? Forgive me.
Yep.
The new Saturnine. They're like, what if we took a dreadnought? Hear me out. What if we gave it bigger shoulder pads?
I mean, these things did exist in the lore. The Saturnine,
Saturnine Terminator. Yeah.
The Saturnine Terminator existed before. I thought it was kind of cool that they expanded that to the dreadnought. I think it's even cooler. Cliff, to let you know, Iron Within, Iron Without.
That's right.
This is my army. You are my homeboy. And I don't care what anybody says about Purty. He's neither emo nor petty.
He stinks. I play Loyalist Iron Warriors.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, they're like Dad sucks. We're out.
Dad was the only reason that you were anything. But anyways.
No.
Beautiful work there, Cliff. I'm loving the depth in those metallics you got going on.
I love this new take on the iron with a bit of that brown hue to it. Is really gorgeous.
Excellent.
That's super good. That dreadnought is huge, by the way.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Next up,
it's a Doom company.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's a Doom company. It's a joke because of 3 models.
Yep. Nice. Clive's in the UK.
Are you doing some D&D, I'm assuming?
Yeah, he painted these for D&D.
Okay.
When he posted these, he did ask about some thoughts on the water effects on the base for the guy on the left.
Oh, for Clive there?
Yeah.
Sorry, the one that's under his title, that's under Clive.
Old man Namor.
Trident character.
Man.
No, I think it's really cool. A lot of the texture under there definitely resembles something approaching seawater. If you wanted to try something that's like really quick, that might kind of help to enhance it. If it's intended to be an ocean, which I kind of presumed with the guy with the trident, it's kind of intended to be ocean. You could go kind of close to just like one edge of that base and hit it with a stark dry brush of some whites to kind of create a little bit of that sea foam. Would really
you can do it on even some of the little texture bits, so it looks like little eddies and swirls.
Yeah, I can see the texture in there definitely feels like turbulent water. So if it were me, I would totally like just dry brush in some really heavy white in some spots to create kind of that roiling sea foam effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. And I can see the Ard Coat kind of gloss finish that it's over the top of there, which is perfect for water.
I like definitely not IP infringing Skeletor in the middle.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They're like, what if we
100%
change
not
some stuff?
Skeletor.
They're like, that's not Skeletor. That's Skeletrax. He's a totally different guy.
I want a big army of these bird guys. I love that.
I know
that's right up my
skeleton
alley.
bird is such a neat model. Yeah. I love that it's crying blood somehow, and it doesn't have eyes.
Well, it's had its eyes plucked out by another bird, right?
Or Flash. It looks like a skeleton bird. Look at the arms.
Yeah, that's what we were saying is a skeleton.
Nice.
Because it doesn't have eyes. And it's made of bones.
Awesome.
It's really cool.
But yeah, nice work there, Clive. All
Yeah.
good.
If it's not like originally a skeleton model, you did an incredible job of making it look like that. This is cool. I wonder who did it.
So this is a model that I've also been working on this week.
Jake, does he always do this? He always like sneaks his own stuff in here. So
yeah,
wonderful fan. Really making some progress here.
But the fun part here is that I got stuck in. I think we talked about it last week, Jake. We talked about like recipes or just things that we always have our go-tos.
Yeah.
And for this, I was like, okay, I'm going to start with like a deep ocean blue and just work it up with some ivory. And I'm going to do my usual like dark red up to a bright red and that kind of thing. And did this. And I looked at it and was like, this is not giving me what I want. It's not what I am thinking about for this model. So I had to step back, repaint, or basically painted the dark red back over all of those red areas. I went back and re-highlighted the blue areas by mixing in a very pale color. What was it? Peachy skin.
That's a great paint. My goodness, I use that paint for everything.
Well, I used it for this. Threw it in there, and then I also used it. I mixed it into the Blanche berry that I was using for the dark to bring up.
The hilarious thing to me is like how different Dave and I approach stuff. So like looking at like the crazy arm things or whatever the white parts. So how I would do that is because it's sprayed white, I would have used either apothecary white or bright white or bright light, which is the speed paint version of it. Because they're all different tones. Apothecary white has a little more blue in it. So like I would have just put that over and then dry brush that with white and basically got almost the same effect without having to paint it blue and work my way up to white.
Well, I didn't. Here's the thing: I didn't paint the whole thing blue. With the dark. Just as I moved up from my base color, as I moved up, I just added more of the over here, the ivory, into it, so that the darkest point up here is the same as the highest point down here.
Nice
kind of thing. So
yeah,
but that was just a bit different. But,
I personally can always see the difference. But I mean, I think like the tools that were available to painters have just changed so dramatically.
Oh yeah, we talk about that all the time.
Now, that even though you can get very similar results, there's just something. There's just like no real like. I don't want to say substitute, but there's no real way to emulate, just doing it brushstroke by brushstroke. Like I think Anna's work is a really good example of, Anna has all these tools available to herself and still is still just, for the most part, like layering up brushstrokes after she puts on a wash. There's not really any sort of just applying like washes and speed paints, and she probably could get a similar effect. But I can always kind of like, I can pick out the painterly, the painterly like dots and brush strokes and very like hand selected highlights that you've put into this, Dave. And
I think,
although you could get there very, very easily with your method, Jake, I think it wouldn't look worse. I'm confident it would look different.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's going to look different, but and again, it goes back to that. For me, it's enjoyable to do it the way. Whereas
for me, it's getting it done is the enjoyable part.
Exactly. And you know what? Done is fun. That's what Eric always says. You know, he's right there with you. And you know, he paints me under the table. His armies get done.
Oh, there we go. Eric's got it. Full synthwave. Here we go.
Amazing.
How'd you do that?
You did that. Doing horns, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they did that to you. We'll never know.
That middle guy looks like Silver Surfer without his board.
Really? Yeah, he does.
But yeah, so these are small models from Fabrice. He's been doing a lot of cyberpunk.
Oh, they're slick. It's really cool.
Yeah, I like it. Those are cool.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but man, if it was, really like huge shout out to Fabrice on the weathering. On this construct here in the back. So I really enjoy that. A lot of the weathering and the buildup here is focused around the joints, because that is what would happen in real life. That's where water pools. Yeah, for the most part, is on the tops of things and right around where there's any sort of like crevices. So particularly like where the neck is turning, I'm loving that. That just feels very authentic, and it kind of makes it look like this thing really is walking around somewhere.
Yeah, but looking great there, Fabrice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice stuff. Very cool. Next up, Sulin was working on
killing it.
Yep, white.
Very spooky.
That White Lord is awesome.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic model. It wasn't until now that I'm actually looking at it. It's like, oh, he doesn't have any legs. He's floating.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's no legs there.
I hadn't realized.
Is there a little skeleton friend floating with him?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's another. Is this a Night Haunt model?
What is
this? This is no, this is actually Soulblight. I think this is the new Lich.
Uh-huh.
I think.
I was gonna say his friend looks just like a Night Haunt model. And given that he has no legs and he's mostly kind of a floating cloak, it's kind of hard to like nail whether he's a Night Haunt or not. But yeah, it definitely looks like a Soulblight model until you see his little friend underneath him, and I wonder, is he an ally? Because he doesn't quite look Soulblight. He looks like he belongs in the Night Haunt faction.
He might be a third party model.
Yeah,
but
beautiful.
That's
cape,
the name Soulblight, but let me check.
Yeah,
love the variations in red in that fabric.
Yeah. Yeah, Sulin's been doing some beautiful work on red cloaks recently.
Yeah, love it.
Spectacular work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks great. Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Next up, Justin McCoy. Justin's been having a lot of fun with this Forge World.
Nice.
Hellhound. There we go. Sorry, the word just leapt out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point here is when he's put on some of the transfers, the decals.
Yeah.
And then gone through and started on.
Ooh.
Oh, dude.
It looks so good.
Justin, this is good.
That thing is ready to annihilate some orc boys.
Yeah.
Is everything there decals? Like all the writings and numbers and stuff?
Yeah,
that stuff is.
Okay.
But definitely like hand painted edge highlighting here.
Sure.
And really beautiful transitions from dark to light gray here. And I love the grime around the rivets on this tank. Really spectacular stuff, Justin.
Yeah, it does look absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Justin's a big fan of A, weathering, and B, decal work.
Mhm.
It's very cool to see this sort of these things layered up as well, not just a simple, oh, just like slap an eagle on there, but it's
they're realistic markings too, like the caution and like all like the pressure markings and stuff.
Yeah. The rescue hatch is marked as rescue hatch.
yeah,
really cool.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope that at some point he goes to like the tank and he puts like a Halliburton like barcode or like label or something like that, like the weapons manufacturer.
Yeah.
It's on the side, so as it drives out of the depot.
Right. Yeah. And this was brought to you by Palantir.
Yeah. Here we go. Beautiful work there, Justin. Looking great. Next up, Luis.
Oh.
Just to run quick, anybody who has kids and a model will know that when a piece breaks, they come to you, you bust out the super glue. But in this one, Luis also threw in a quick one.
He pinned Yoshi.
He pinned Yoshi.
Pretty great.
For his son.
Yes. Parent of the year. Oh, I love it.
Excellent work. But Luis has also been working on his deliverers.
Nice.
Yeah, he started to do his decal work now, and
yep. So this little the 19 in there for the Raven Guard.
Yep.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And I'm enjoying the texture that he's getting here on the leather Terges. But looking great. Nice work, Luis. Very cool. Dave Humble says, "Hell, my wife freaks on again, has me super glue it back together." We mentioned last week,
crap, man.
I was going to post the photo on the black background. So
good.
Again,
cool.
This is unreal.
So Mark basically sculpted this entire thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this has got to be all hand sculpted.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And it wasn't even a collab. He sculpted and painted this.
Yep.
Mark,
Absolutely.
you freak of nature.
This is all traditionally sculpted as well. It's all green stuff. And
wow.
But yeah,
that's insane. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
But yeah,
jeez,
spectacular work, and it does look amazing. There, Mark. Beautiful stuff. I love it. Love it. Oh, sorry. There's also some super sculpting in there as well.
Nice.
But there we go. Mark said that he was been inspired by that last piece, but he's going to work on something that's a little bit lighter and more humorous.
Love it.
So
is that a gnome?
Tiny gnome.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Can we talk about his wedding ring?
Is that the one ring?
That is the one ring.
Oh my gosh, man.
And there's like there's a second ring as well holding it on so it doesn't slip off.
This guy is aura farming.
But no, beautiful work there, Mark. I'm excited to see what comes next. It'll be super cool. Next up, Mike Hughes. So Mike definitely does beautiful work, but this post, he's shown this head. This is basically a decapitated head. It's going to be on a model that he's working on. But he went through in this particular post. I think he's posted like 5 or 6 kind of steps that show the underpainting for it, the tones that he's put in there. You can see how things develop through. You can see blues and greens here in the depths and purples, and then how they build up to this level.
Really appreciate Mike's command of light here.
Yeah,
like he really understands where, like the cool and warm tones in shadow and light should be cast. It's really impressive.
Yeah, and
it comes through in the final product for sure. Even though for most people it'll be really subtle to them, it really jumps out at me. Yeah,
no, it's definitely beautiful. Awesome work there, Mike. Great. Thanks for posting those step-by-steps as well. So anybody can jump into the Facebook group, Build Paint Play Community, and check out that post. Next up, Nesta. Nesta's been printing out some models for Malediction.
Nice.
So yeah, these skeletal warriors look fantastic. I'm really loving
Those are
the
cool.
Yep.
Love it.
The poses are beautiful, and I think this is really bringing out that I guess faded glory kind of look.
The guy on the left, that's like a classic skeleton pose.
This one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Perfect.
the knock knees and like the whole like
that
blurred
1 foot
figure.
turned in.
Turned in, yeah, and the slumped shoulders as
Yeah.
well.
Posture goes to hell when you die. It's the
I'll be
worst.
right back.
Exactly. But no, beautiful work there, Nesta. It was great. Next up, we've got Patrick Keith.
Nice. His Eldar pirates.
Are these the Void Scarred, or are they these the new Corsairs?
So technically you can make either. You can either make the Void Corsairs or the Void Scarred out of the same box.
Okay.
I don't know which one of these he's running them as, but
yeah, they're looking great.
yeah, they look
Very
sweet.
impressive.
Very nice having them all together there, and yeah, I do love the this guy in the center. Just that wild hair, black eye, the rebreather.
Yep.
Just,
Cool.
excellent work. Real stuff there, Patrick. Very nice. And I did actually, something came across my feed at some point today. Patrick is on appears to be regularly on a podcast called The Sculptors. It's with Tom Mason and Bill Thornhill, two other great sculptors and great guys. So if you want to learn more about sculpting or listen to sculptors talk about sculpting work, check that out. Next up, Sean Gleason. So last week, Sean showed off
BFG.
you showed off these three. Well, the three. These.
Yeah, it's the one to the left.
This one.
Go 2 ships. Yeah, that one, and then the 2 on the right.
These two. Cool. But the rest of these are models that he painted 20 years ago. When BFD was out. So, but yeah, they look fantastic, Sean.
Dude, I love BFG.
Very cool. That's stuff. Cool.
Very
Some
nice.
typing and sending emails.
Yeah. Oh, it was just a text.
Oh,
I had to shoot off real quick about a package.
all good. But no, beautiful work there, Sean. They look awesome. Very nice.
Great palette.
Yeah, it is. It is cool, isn't it? That
Classic Wraithbone.
tan bone.
I'm just, Sean, so happy that you're playing BFG.
Yeah.
The best game Games Workshop ever made.
Thanks. Next up, Stephen Green. Stephen. So Stephen's in the UK, and he had started with the. So there was this. What do you call it? Partworks. So a Partworks thing is something that's done through news agents and stores where you can buy magazines, that kind of thing. But it's each month you get a new copy of the magazine.
Oh,
some information in it, and the Partworks that GW do have sprues. So there's a new sprue every month. In this case, it was the Stormcast were the first sprue. Usually, it's one of those things where you get the first 3 or 4 issues for $5 a piece, $4 or $5 a piece, and then you can lock in for the subscription.
Right.
And at that point, the issues jump to like $15.
Yeah, and you usually end up with 2 pretty sizable armies by the end.
Yeah,
your subscription if you lock in, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of this stuff, and it seemed like a pretty good way to get 2 armies for cheap if you're not too particular about like which models
you're getting.
You include. It's a good way to start, it seems.
Yeah, it's something that the whole Partworks thing has been very big in Europe for a long time. For all sorts of things. It was big when I was a kid in Australia. There would have been a dinosaur one where at the end you ended up with like or you might have like these next four issues are going to be the T-Rex issues, and you get different parts of the T-Rex model. So by the end of the 4 issues, you've got a T-Rex together.
FOMO.
They're doing one now with Spearhead, so that people will learn how to play Spearhead as they go. And Stephen obviously already knows, but he's doing some beautiful work here on these stone cards.
These are great.
Yeah, I really like the bone contrasted with this kind of teal color and the orange topper there. It's really pretty.
Is very cool. Malev just said, "Imagine being a kid in Australia. That could be a game."
Malev. Me and Malev have been friends for like a decade, and he only lives like 30 minutes from us. So
right.
it's really strange how the whole hobby community kind of we all just kind of fall into each other. But man, I live him. He's such a gem.
And he's our official painter for 1490 Doom.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
all the box art miniatures you see for Doom, it's all Malev, all of it.
Awesome. That's cool. Excellent. So next up, Stephen Ryder.
Ooh.
So last week I mentioned that Stephen had another ent that I had not included in the slideshow. So this is the other one.
Nice.
That ent is absurd. I like how he's like,
it is.
His head looks like a beehive.
Yeah.
He has his modesty beard.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that model on the right is supposed to be Calabas from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Painted it up as Calabas. Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Very nice.
Yeah. Fantastic sort of satyr kind of model. Man,
what is up with his mouth though?
I don't know.
It just looks like a whack-a-hole mole. You know, like a hole that the mole comes out of. Like I just want to like smack his mouth to make the rodent go away.
Yeah.
I know he has 6 fingers and a thumb on each hand.
It's excellent.
Yep.
Every ent should have 14 fingers, you know?
I think you might have the same number of toes as well. No, it's fantastic. Stephen always paints up super old school models. Had a lot of fun with these. With although others as well. What's that on the left, bottom left, Jake?
It could be Zorn, or it could be an Otiug. I don't know.
No, it's a Zorn.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the earliest.
And then there's like a fat child on the right.
I was going to call him a thug.
Sure, we'll go with thug, I guess.
He's got
he's hangry.
He's American.
Yeah.
But yeah, the proportions are wild. But I think Stephen's done a great job with the painting on there. Obviously, I'm loving
that is a chubby squire
and the brown.
My friends, my son has a band concert. I hate to bail out, but I've got to run to his band concert. So you guys keep going.
We're over. That's the end. We are over. So
yep, that was the end of that was the final model.
Well, it was a good one to end on.
We'll be quick. I'll get us out of here now. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Eric. It was awesome talking to you guys about 1490 Doom and Carnivore. If anybody has anything that they need, like, make sure you message them directly. Links in the show notes below. You can check out all their stuff. If there's anything you're working on, make sure you post it in Build Paint Play community. If you guys need Dave or you guys know where to find us. You can poke around. Thank you to Army Painter for sponsoring us. If there's any, did I miss anything, Dave?
No, just the like, subscribe, do the bits.
Oh yeah, do all the internet stuff, guys. Do the like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Click.
Yeah, mash that button.
Right.
We will see you guys next week. As always, be safe and do not forget to build, paint,
play. Thanks, guys. That was sweet.
Thanks, everyone.
Shut up and sit down.